we have the privilege of having a very special guest with us today, so I'm going to go ahead and let him come in.
Hey! Bunch of activists here. I had to stop by and say hello. It's wonderful to see all of you. Thank you for traveling to Washington. In some ways, you guys are guinea pigs. And let me explain why. One of the things when I was working on the south side of Chicago, the federal government seemed so distant to me. I had very little sense of how we could leverage and affect change, but also how could we access directly the resources that could make a difference in our communities. Obviously, congressional delegations can be important. That's what they're there for. Obviously, there are times where you guys are members of organizations and you go up on Capitol Hill, but the White House just seems very forbidding. And so what we wanted to do was to set up a system where on a regular basis, community leaders who are out there day in, day out, whether it's with not-for-profits or with your places of worship or with a community organization, whatever it is, we want to make sure that you had the chance to interact with our agencies, to talk to people directly, to ask questions, to find out what resources are available, to give us suggestions in terms of how we can be more accessible to the community. And so what we're doing is we're going to be bringing in just waves of folks from different states all through the summer. And hopefully what you'll be able to do then is take this information and disseminate it throughout your communities, and you'll have sort of a toolkit where if there's small businesses in your community, you might not typically be doing a lot of small business stuff, but you hear somebody in church or somebody in your agency that has a small business that's having problems getting financing, and you can say right away, well, I know I heard about this Small Business Administration financing program, and here's how you would get in touch with it. So you end up being a great asset for the community in terms of hooking us up with people who actually could be using our services. And this is for programs that already exist but may not be fully tapped. So I'm glad all of you have had a chance to spend some time here. I hope that my team has been as accessible as they say they are. And let me also say just thank you to all of you. The work you do day in, day out sometimes is kind of thankless. And I know you guys don't do it for the money. So I still remember my first job on the south side. I had a little office in a church basement, and I was getting paid $13,000 a year. With expenses for gas, I think. And so I remember how you can feel isolated out there sometime, and you just feel like you're pushing a boulder up a hill. And what we want to communicate is that we've got your backs, but also that the people that you're working with, that we're thinking about them each and every day. We've gone through a very tough time over the last 2.5 years, and a lot of folks are hurting out there. And some of you may be doing housing counseling, or some of you may be doing job counseling, trying to match people up with opportunities. But the overall climate is difficult, and that puts more strain on all of you. But just hopefully this trip tells you that you're not alone, and that includes the President of the United States. He cares about what you do. All right?
And we care about you.